Okay. Photo credit by Blake Benke. You're gonna be YouTube famous, buddy.
Already am.
Okay. Well played, well played. All right, so what you're gonna do is you had them all here where we kind of dry fit them together, then lay them down away from you. And what's gonna happen is you run a decent sized bead of glue down. Well, this one has a bad end on it, and that's a bad end in a good way because we use this for more intricate gluing. These ones have bigger ends, and it's gonna squirt out much faster if I'm squeezing that hard. But here's what I wanna point out. You put a little bit of glue on it, you smear it around. Can everybody see that X? It's critical that we kind of pay attention to that. If you cake too much glue on, all you're doing is wasting it, and you're causing your drying time to kind of delay because you have too much on there. But you guys see how it's like faint and kind of hazy in there? Okay? You want it about like that. If any glue squirted around the sides, here's what I do. I just kind of smear it onto that other face. That one goes against here. Double check your marks. So what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna have to talk and work fast. You have 5 minutes from beginning to end. 5 minutes from when the first drop of glue went on to when this thing should be clamping and curing. So you're gonna see how I'm kind of turning this into a mass production. Do me a favor, please don't get glue all over clamps because they cause a lot of havoc. You also notice that I keep laying the end one down. I did not lay down my first one. Seems stupid. I have had students glue their piece to the clamp. Not cool. When you're done and you gotta come back through, it's a real pain in the neck to take a hammer and beat it off of the clamp before you can unclamp yours. So, please don't do that. Please be smarter than those people. Again, double check your lines and double check your numbering before you start this. Notice that I kept everything in that nice orderly fashion and brought it over here all together and whatever. After break, your pieces are gonna go in the locker. If you don't get yours glued today, after break, yours is gonna sit. And if it sits, it might get mixed up and whatever. That's fine, it's not the end of the world. Just make sure that they're labeled well so that then you can kind of put the puzzle back together before you bring it over here. So, the reason that I smeared around this surface is because if we just left it in a couple lines across there, we would count on the pressure to spread everything evenly. That doesn't work that well that way. So notice how I'm smearing it around. We want this whole surface to bond, right? Because we want it to be as strong as it can. Does anybody know anything about wood glue? Anybody wood glued anything before? I asked it a little bit ago, but what did you wood glue? The people that have. The signs in intervention. Okay, what else?
Chair leg.
What?
Chair leg.
A chair leg? You glued a chair leg? Let me guess, because you broke a chair leg?
Yeah.
That happens. Sometimes some of the biggest things that I've learned in life on how to fix are because I broke it. Because if you break it, you fix it. That's how the world works. So, those clamps. I haven't talked about them, I didn't hit on it, but here's the deal. You push that way against them, they're not gonna go, I don't care how strong you are. If you squeeze these together, now they slide, okay? So that's how these lock, is you have to squeeze these together. So when you see me go like this, it won't go that way. But if I squeeze right there, it'll slide back and forth. Do me a favor, please don't get glue all over everything. When you get that skin on your fingers, just kind of rub it, it'll fall off. Don't get it on your clothes. If you do get it on your clothes, rinse it with water immediately and quite a bit of water. It'll dilute it and it'll get it rinsed out. If it got on my shirt and it dried on my shirt, I wouldn't get it off. It's on there forever, okay? This stuff is not water soluble once it cures, okay? You can wash it up with water when it's still uncured. Okay, here's what I want to point out. I'm at that clamping point. Blake, how many minutes are we?
5.
Okay. See, now I'm right about at my threshold of how long it could have taken. You guys will work faster because you don't got to talk to the camera and you don't got to explain and all that stuff. Okay, here's what we got to make sure. I want to make sure that this is flush. So you keep seeing me pushing down. These clamps are straight. Okay? I want to push down. Then what I do is I tighten them. If you are one of the strongest people in the class,
Boy.
you're probably going to want to not give it everything you got. If you're not one of the strongest and one of the weaker people, give it everything you got. I don't want the strongest person, hey, I don't want somebody else coming over to clamp yours. You are clamping yours. Everyone here has the strength capacity to be able to do this. So here's what you do. Tighten it up until you're happy. Then if you got a lot of glue seeping out, now's when you go grab a wet paper towel and smear it out, okay? But mine's not too bad. I got a few spots. I'm just gonna actually smear it with my finger just a little bit. This might help us a little bit later on. But after break, I'm gonna show you what the next step is. Right now, that's it. Now, I gently, sometimes not as gently as others. Yeah, very gently, right? Okay, take it out. You will see this stuff stacked here. Before you start gluing, you got to get your clamps from over here usually. These clamps, get unclamped from here, hang out there. That's really neat. So, unclamp this stuff so that you can get at it, and then we will go from there. Questions? You've got an hour. Go.
Can I turn it off?
Yep.